You are barely 4 weeks pregnant.
How long does it take to become pregnant after 6?
Well, it can take up to 6 days for the sperm and egg to join, and another 3 or 4 days for fertilization.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Sistas fans, so there will be plenty of videos coming your way in regards to Karen's pregnancy, because without a shadow of a doubt, the woman's pregnant. That much we do know from this week's episode of the show. But in any case, I think I mentioned this maybe months ago, but based on her reaction to the news that she is 4 weeks or basically a month into her pregnancy, things don't seem to line up to the math that would equate Zach to being the father, meaning that there's no way Zach is the father, even though the timeline stuff, and I will do a separate video on that, makes no sense whatsoever, because if you look at how many days have passed in the show, and I'm talking about how many days have passed in the show, not how many days have passed in real life, but how much time has passed in the show day by day based on the character outfits and whatnot, Aaron should not be the father. So I'm wondering, are we going to do the "if loving you is wrong" route where, the question of is Zach the father, is Aaron the father, that's going to be, debated about in the entire show, kind of like the Alex and Brad situation with Randall, or is there a third player involved? Because remember, towards the tail end of the series, if I'm not mistaken, the final season or the next to the last season, Ian was introduced as a potential candidate for being Jennifer Peppa's baby daddy, but we never found out who the father was, which is a shame, because the first episode, Alex's friend group, suspected she was pregnant. Then at the beginning of episode 2, she took a pregnancy test. And then the entire series, we go, oh, she's pregnant, but who's the daddy? Baby's born. Obviously not the same complexion as Alex or Brad. And then apparently tests show that Randall isn't the father. So it's like, but who is the daddy? And we never found out. Given how time is wonky in this show, I have no idea how the show is going to deal with the pregnancy, unless there's some sort of time jump or whatever. It just does not make any conceivable sense that, Zach is the father, because he's not. Because based on her reaction, Zach is not the father. However, if Aaron's the father, then what? What is, Karen planning to do? But more to the point, this video is strictly asking the question, do you think there is a third party involved? Someone else that Karen had relations with? Some people are speculating, oh, is it Hayden? Some people said Gary. Yes, I was reading comments on Twitter and Instagram. Some people are like, yo, do you think it's Gary? Do you think it's Hayden or something? A lot of people, and I even did a video on this a while back, Rico from season 1. Rico. Old Faithful or Old Reliable, I believe was the name of the episode, early season 1. She was pretty much Karen's, old reliable little black book. Whenever Zach wasn't acting right, she would call him up. The first thing she did as soon as she came over, she pulled out a condom and was like, okay, undo your zipper, let's do this. Even though he was like, no, we're not doing this no more. I'm engaged, I'm about to get married, I'm not doing this. So he leaves her a bottle of wine and then bounces. So that scene in itself could have showcased that, whenever they did have sex, it was protected, unlike Zach whenever he would cheat. So it's just one of those things where I feel like Tyler is going to drum up the baby daddy drama, because this is what he loves to do. I'm not going to lie. You all know I am not a fan of this way of storytelling, but because Tyler just has a knack for dragging stuff out and leaving humongous storylines of his various shows left unresolved for the fans to speculate on, it works. When I say it works, it's all about the numbers. It's all about creating a buzz within the fan base. Because keep in mind, outside of Zatima, no other subject is being discussed as much as Karen being pregnant. about who the baby daddy and whatnot. So Tyler knows what to give his audience, but the thing about it is he doesn't always deliver. Like he'll make the announcement of, hey, Karen's pregnant, but then when it comes to delivery time, pun intended, we don't get what we invested into. Like imagine the show lasts another 3 seasons. Folks, if she's only 4 weeks pregnant, how the hell are we supposed to wait until 8 more months? Unless it's a premature baby or something. It doesn't make sense. I just hope that Tyler Perry delivers on this storyline, even though I feel like she might get an abortion. That's just my opinion. But I do feel like this is just wasted potential. If the story is, all Karen's character is about, and we never get resolution. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think Tyler Perry will cut and paste the If Loving You Is Wrong storyline? Or do you think he'll do better? Like, you know what? I was wrong for how I ended that series. The fans deserve to know who the father of Alex's baby was. So I'm not going to repeat the same mistake in this show. But again, I don't want to give him too much credit, but I just hope Tyler listens to the fans. And it's not about giving fans what they want. Zach isn't the father, but at least going through with the storyline. At least, telling us what we need to know. Now, going back to the Rico thing, you could say that Tyler may have written it where, hey, maybe one time they did have unprotected sex. And as a result, Karen is pregnant by him or somebody else. And also, just throwing it out there, even though I don't think this is the case, but Tyler seems to be retconning a lot of stuff, like the whole, wait a minute, Gary and Hayden knew each other for years, but I thought they met for the first time in season 2. But then they played it off like, yeah, we kind of played you, Andy, which makes sense given their character. But Tyler Perry is able to write things. Not to mention, Rico was a season 1 character. He could easily rewrite it so Rico is the father, and people be like, what the hell? Who the hell is Rico? Again, I get it, but that's the way Tyler Perry operates. But not to, just signal him out. A lot of shows do these kind of things where early established lore within the continuity of the show could be changed around to suit the purposes of a current storyline. But let me know, do you think Tyler Perry, or do you at least hope Tyler Perry handles the Karen pregnancy better than how he did with the who's the baby daddy, drama on If Loving You Is Wrong? Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And if Alex or Zach, well, yeah, Zach isn't the daddy. If Aaron isn't the father, who do you think it is? Will Tyler just pull another Ian and just throw in another character who we never suspected to be the father? Again, only time will tell.